15.
Yes, Master.
Okay. 李一彤 maybe you will give me a name list to me after class, okay? Okay, thank you. So we waste some times and will hurry up. So class is begin. Uh, the test of these times I will introduce the medical immunology. So the name of this course is medical immunology. At first, I want to say welcome to the course of medical immunology, and I am so glad for hold this class for you. My name is Zhen Xiaobo, and this is my email, and the WeChat number is here. It's also my telephone number. If you some problem, and you can connect to me. So, did you see the PPT?
Yes, Master.
Okay, okay. Uh, this course, this course, this course contained 68 hours and more than 48 hours for theoretical course and the 20 hours for laboratory. The comprehensive evaluation combined the examination and the experimental report. So detailing the attendance account for 10% and classroom performance account for 20%, and the homework account for 10%, and the final examination and the test account for 60%. Today, at the first time class, the topic is introduction of medical immunology. From this, this class will from these two aspects: the define of immunology and immunology and the history of immunology. What is immunity? This word emerged earlier and derived from the Latin word, which means protection from legal prosecution, and now in medical terms is resistance to reference-free of disease. What is the relationship between the persecution and the disease? We can imagine that if somebody don't have two persecution, which means exemption suffering cell. Here we can see many molecular match. Successful is the base of the function performed by T cell or NK cell. Also, we can imagine that if the T cell knows the CD16, maybe the CD16 cannot recognize the tumor antigens. In this condition, the NK or T cell cannot bind the tumor cell. So the tumor cell will be arrived from the NK or T cell. Maybe the patient with this tumor will be better future. So the molecular in the immunity is very, very important because the immune cell have not eyes, have no hands. They only have the molecular to recognize each other and touch something. The molecular of the immune molecular of the cell is just like eyes and hands for him. So the immunity can be understood as an exemption from plague. The system can be understood as a group of related individuals. It is whole. It is the whole with towards the immune systems. So, what are the immune systems? This is the immune systems, the body that protects us from the external agents. From this picture, we can see. So the immune system is not a simple tissues or organs. It's very complex. The immune system is made of sorry. Sorry. Okay. It's very complex. The immune system is made up of life organs, life tissue, and immune cells. The immune system is a very complex network of lymphatic vessels. Lymph is a excess tissue fluid and that has been drained from the body contents. Lymphatic fluid is usually clear, watery, and has the same condition as the constitution as the blood, but without any cells. What means this system? The sentence? We can see the lymphocyte recirculation here. The right picture shows. Immune system, just as we mentioned above, the organism and the cell and the organs. Each of the organs connect each other by what? By the lymphatic vessels. And within the lymphatic vessels, the lymphatic fluid, refilled like water, like the blood, and followed in these vessels. So the vessels will connect each organism or organs and make the immune system as totally I think is integrate in our bodies. Interesting. Assume the immune system is ours. The immune system are like leaders, president, children, and so on. And the lymphocytes are like the body class, and the immune cell like the mass of the people. For example, in the game, the lymph organs is the big boss, and the lymphatic tissue is the small leader, and the immune cell is the smaller soldiers. So the cell in the vessels is like a soldiers. They will get to the place of infection by the bacteria and kill the bacteria. The immune system is divided into two groups with two parts, which called the acquired immune system and the innate immune system. Well, each of those play a role in defending the body. Defending the body. There are major differences between the two. The innate systems is always work to protect the body and does not require any special preparation to stop infection. And the acquired immune system need to prevent before it can work to its full effectiveness. So, and it is really effective after it has been possible effective agent before. We can see this picture means that the innate immune system are those part of the immune system that work no matter what the damage is caused by, and they are all aimed to protect the body without the need for preparation. They are always work and do not need have sense to offend invader before be able to start attack it. And the acquired immune system is responsible for the destruction of foreign particles once they have entered the body. Before it had been foreign particles, it actually quite ignore about the destroy it. During the first explore to an invader, the acquired immune system must be named how to attract and destroy the foreign particle. So he had a process of name. How to understand the name? This process we will detailedly talk about it in the future lessons. It means that it's not good as the innate systems for keep out sense that it has never encountered before. Once the acquired immune system has created a response, however, the protective response can be made more quickly and with great force, allow it to protect the body from harms. The cell of acquired systems are mainly the B cell and the T cell. So the many components and the many, such as the soldier, is the B cell and the T cell in the acquired immune systems. But there are also other important parts of the acquired systems, such as the complement cassette. Complement. The complement, we will talk about it in the future lesson. And the besides the complement and the production of antibody, the acquired immune systems also play a key role in the rejection of implanted tissues. And what does the immune systems do? Here we list the three functions. The first one is immune defense. Defense what? Defense the infectious disease. And the second one is immune surveillance. And the third one is hemostasis. What means the immune system detains, which means identified and removed foreign invading antigens, such as pathogenic microorganisms. This function of preventing and remove invading pathogens and other harmful substances, which called immune defense. So follow this, it can protect the human body from worse bacteria, pollutants, and disease. And the immune surveillance, it means identified and remove or matured tumor cells, census cells, the dead cells, and another hands of components in body. This ability to detect and remove the non-self components from the body is called immune surveillance. The removal of metabolic waste and the remnants of head and head body left the immune cells fight in the walls must buried out the immune cells. So we should be understand the immune surveillance is to remove the mature tumor cells and the senescent cells and the dead cells, cell cells. It's just the surveillance. And the third one is the hemostasis. It means keep the environment in the immune system stable throughout immune tolerance and immune regulation, repairing immune cell and repair damaged ground organs and tissues and restore them to their organ function. A healthy immune system is irreplaceable, but it can still ineffective because the continued ingestion of the health bodies. So we should remember the function of the immune system here. 3 points: immune defense, immune surveillance, and immune homeostasis. Is very, very important here. And the part 2 is we introduce the history of immunology. Immunology is depend from the human struggle against the infectious disease. The most representative is battle against the smallpox. Smallpox is a disease caused by virus. Smallpox spread very, very easy from person to person, and the symptoms are flu-like and including high fever, fatigue, and the headache and backache, followed by a rash with flat red skull. Moreover, the the patient the patient who are infected by the smallpox, which and high infections and rush all over the body, of the body carried after survival and with a very high mortality. So the picture shows the right left is the substance of skin. We can see the skin was full with blister and filled with liquid, which contains the virus and has a high contagious. The right picture presents the shape of the smallpox under the electron microscope. How to deal with it? The ancient China, in our it means in our country, ancient China made a good practice. Here we can see the Chinese variation in physiognomic measure against the smallpox. Briefly got the wood incrustation from person who infected smallpox, but it was survival, and granted the incrustation to powder, and brought the powder into the natural who are infected. By this means, it can prevent the nature prevent it from the smallpox infection. And the many years later, the method of this Chinese variation is named by the other world, other country, and so many person know this method. But we can see in this picture the body did not infected, but it can directly touch the smallpox. Is also very dangerous. So many years later, a doctor in the a doctor which is a Englishman in England man. So several years later, English physician who pioneered the vaccination journal introduced inoculated the people with small amount of cowpox to protect them from getting smallpox. How to maybe you were wondering how did they did? At the time, when people are mainly suffering from smallpox, but Jenner found that some famous works in a milk factory was burning infected with smallpox. Then he finally found that the cow's skin had the similar substance, and which full with blisters. So we can see the body suffering from the smallpox, and the cow suffering from the cowpox, but the cow healthy is well. So the idea is stand proposed in his hand. The cow has the disease after infection cowpox and posts the similar symptoms to that of human infected smallpox, but with a low mortality. Mortality. It means the cowpox is more safety than that of smallpox for human. Well, the female works microscope by hands and touched the cowpox, which helped the worker avoid the smallpox infection. So the general will use the cowpox as a vaccine to the to protect to help the people to protection against the smallpox. The general use the use the virus from the cowpox and project into the human and help the human against the smallpox. And the general the method as or called the cowpox is vaccination. So the announcement by the WHO in 1980 that smallpox was the first disease that had been eradicated in worldwide by the program of vaccination. And the other other very famous person is Lawrence Pasteur. He is created out the vaccine such as anthrax and rabies. Both of these disease is also bring the big loss for the people. So many people suffering from those disease. And after several years efforts, and Pasteur used the chicken as the model to do lots of experiments, and at last, featuring the obtained the two kinds of vaccines. And another person named Warren Berry. He discovery of the humoral immunity. In 1890, the Warren Berry and his friends, means Candice Contasto, portraits treaties from culture of closed tetany can confer protection. And the serotherapy. At first, somebody infected by the tetanus, and in this body after some times later, the body have produced some antibody in the serum. So this means the Burman used the serum of the vaccinated people had the substance that specifically belonged to the related pathogens. It means antibodies to treatment with the patient, which also infected the tetanus and work have a good infections. So the excellent work helped him to get a Nobel Prize. After the some after the some vaccinate come out, and some years later, so many different kind of vaccines is make out, and it performed a very essential function to against different disease or different I think the virus or bacterial infection disease. And in 1901 and in 1996, so many excellent immunologists performed a good job in the forms of immunity. Very so many people here, and we showed is a very key founders in the process. And here we pick up one person to briefly introduced is Bernard. The Bernard was posed theory. It names canonical selection theory, and because the theory post, he got the Nobel Prize in 1860. How do you understand the canonical selection theory? James proposed that humans are born with the necessary temperament for all the antibody in the immune system could ever lead to make. Each person enter immunological properties of antibody is a development where the verb. In this purpose, each lymphocyte has a unique antibody on the surface. Antibody are proteins that bind with harmful antigens to lymphocytes. Then, if the immune cells, if the immune cells have antigen receptors that match any of the body one tissues, then those particular cells are destroyed. Clone section is a part of the primary immune response. A primary immune response is provoked then new antigens invade the body, travel through the when the lymphocyte and antigen contains the chemical change is triggered. The lymphocyte is active, causes it to rapidly multiply and create many clones for itself. This is how the process came to be called clone selection. The body will keep produce the preference amount of the selection lymphocyte cell in an effect of inhibit and prevent infection. Well, multiplying the lymphocyte create two main major cells, effector major and memory cells. Effector cell or B cell or T effector cell, it means the B cell and the T lymphocytes are short-lived cells created for immediate immunological defense, and the memory cells are not active during the primary immune response, but will play an important part during of the secondary immune systems. Clone selection is a very important immunological process that determines which B or T lymphocytes type of well-worn blood cells will be produced the large quantity. It is through this process that our body combines antigens substance it considers to the harmful. So we can see the picture showed the process of this theory. And today, so many outstanding work and data from the library and the clinic. The data from together and I think is promote the immunity to development and further and now is the immunity become a pioneer decentralized in the medical fields. So the immunology is the base of the medicine. And the modern immunology is the genetic principle of the discovery, the diversity and the specificity of antibodies. And the gene clone of T cell receptor, immunogenetic and MHC restriction, and cytokines and receptors, single transduction, which lead these four maybe and more of the exceptions is present the modern immunology research headquarters. And so many work have to do to explanation the mechanism of the immune response and to explanation the mechanism of the T cell or B cell or another lymphocytes to respond for the defense. So on the other words, the immunology is very important for our medicine students. Maybe even because the basic knowledge about the immunology is very important for our doctor to think or to treatment with the patient. So the content of this class is over. Any questions?
No, 老师。No, 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 老师。
Okay, this class is over.
No, 老师。谢谢老师。Thank you, 老师。
Okay.
谢谢老师。Thank you, 老师。See you.